As we enter playoffs, the competition becomes even more intense. Soon we'll be outside running the bases. Meanwhile, area wrestlers are wrapping up the state competition. Unfortunately, some of these athletes were sidelined with an injury.
Basketball injuries are typically knee injuries. We jump, we land, we come down. If we come down wrong, even without contact, without anyone bumping into somebody, we can stress the knee. Non-contact ACL injuries, that's the major knee ligament injuries, are very common in basketball, volleyball, any jumping, pivoting, twisting sport. Wrestling, we still can have the ACL injury, but that's less common. That is more analogous to a football injury where someone slams into the outside of the knee. Wrestling, the shoulders are more at risk. We can have anterior shoulder dislocations. They're fairly common. Typically, at this age, though, with high school and college students, if we pop the shoulder out one time, even though it can be reduced fairly easily, and even though return to sports can be fairly quick, the risk of recurrent repetitive dislocations is very high, perhaps as high as 70 to 90%.
Something no athlete wants to deal with.
Yeah, you have to work really hard. If you don't, how you train and practice, how you wrestle out on the mat. So if you don't work hard, then you're not going to perform out on the mat. So you got to be in the practice room every day grinding, and don't take like any moment for granted. You just always got to keep pushing, and then it'll pay off on the mat.
Dr. John Hoffman specializes in helping athletes get back in the game. As a matter of fact, all the specialists here at Orthopedic Specialists treat injured athletes on a daily basis. And those injuries are not just limited to male athletes.
One of the issues with the increased participation of women in sports is the frequency of ACL injuries in women. For the same hours of participation, women are anywhere between 3 to 7 times more likely to pop their ACL than a man. Part of that is strength, part of it is the alignment. Women tend to be a little bit more knock-kneed. But for whatever reason, it's extremely common. Parents whose daughters are active in these sports are well aware of this. They frequently have friends who suffer anterior cruciate injuries. And if they continue, it's not uncommon that the second side can be injured as well.
There is good news. Treatment for these types of injuries have come a long way over the past 10 years.
The majority come close to returning to the same level of athletic activity, and they're able to return to sports at about 6 months. Perhaps there's some improvement that continues up to a full year. But there are some who don't, but I'd say the majority return to the same level of athletic activity.
And that's what athletes want to hear.
We play our strengths, and when we play our strengths, we play pretty well. Getting into drill, I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are 6'7" in the area. So, you know, we get into him. When he gets shut down, we got guys that can shoot and hit shots from the arc. So it's good when those people can step up.
Reporting for QC Family Focus Magazine, I'm Mike Mickle.